Hi, my name is Joan Ranquet, and I'm an animal communicator, author, and founder of Communication with All Life University. I've been an animal communicator and an energy healer for over 25 years, and I am here to talk to you about my Energy Healing for Animals home study course. The reason I want to actually talk about it is because it's awesome, but also most people know me as an animal communicator, and they know that I used to do a lot of energy healing, and I actually started out doing energy healing before I did the animal communication. I've been teaching animal communication and scalar wave energy techniques since 1998, and I've actually been hiding a lot because I've been so busy working on my book, Energy Healing for Animals. It will be out with Sounds True, and I don't have the actual copy yet, so I'm just showing you this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cover. And my first book, Communication with All Life, Revelations of an Animal Communicator, is out by Hay House, and it talks about energy in there also. But when I look at this, all of this, I thought, how do I put all of this into a comprehensive program, which is what made me come up with the Energy Healing for Animals home study course. And one of the things that I think is my superpower is I love teaching, and I love helping people understand how almost deceptively simple animal communication and energy healing is. And I can present and facilitate, and then it's up to you to take your time and really get a little disciplined and do your work. But my greatest pleasure is seeing the light bulb go off for people and watching animals totally relax, or animal households shift because somebody really took these tools and used them. I get great pleasure from hearing from my students and my graduates as they come back and tell me stories about how they've shifted households in an amazing way. And I serve a lot of people that love to just love animals. For starters, I have all sorts of different products, and we'll be coming up with more books. Just for the animal lover in general, I love seeing harmony in the household. I love to see people that have already started working with animals, whether they're massage therapists. I've had a lot of vets come to my class, vet techs, and then I have a whole other sect of really smarty pants people that seem to be in corporate America that want to get out. And I love teaching the gamut. I love all the people that come here because I actually have a little secret sign outside my door. It's for every class. It's that, you were possibly the weirdo, you loved animals, and you're home. You're home by coming to these classes. So I serve a wide range of people, and I love doing it. And one of the things that I feel is my greatest strength is that I believe everybody is an animal communicator, and I actually believe everybody is an energy healer. If you understood what actually goes into energy healing on its most simple form, it really comes down to almost the emotion in the household, the setting up the chemistry right, which can be an emotional thing. It could be food, it could be a flower essence, it could be a lot of things, and then some of my proven techniques. But it isn't a giant mystery. And so one of the things that I also feel that I won't do is steer you in a direction and make a false promise. All of my techniques are proven. I've been doing it for years. Forgot to mention earlier, I actually have been teaching EFT now for the last few years, Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's a very powerful technique for people and animals. So I'm not woo-woo, and I'm not going to make this all so mysterious. I'm really practical. I like for everything to be verified. I'm very much about verifying and making it measurable so that you can actually see that you're doing it and you're creating a really solid muscle of this animal communication or energy healing, and that you don't go to the next step until you feel really, really confident. So let me tell you a little bit about my program to begin with. The first part of it is, I like to call it Energy Management 101. The first 4 weeks is all about the healer. I think about if you're going to be a great energy healer, or animal communicator, we've got to constantly be working on ourselves. And so some of the beginning is really diving in and looking at how we can heal ourselves and what we are as wounded healers, how we can really kind of come past our wound, and do we have any wounding with animals? So a lot of it is really some self-examination and looking at what is energy. I have a whole little section for the first 8 weeks, and you may ask why 8, because there's only 7 chakras. I have a whole section on 7, each week is a chakra. So the first week is going to be chakra 1 for people and for animals, and it's an in-depth, there's material from my first book, but also from an audios I've been doing with my big program. I also, in that first week, we have an EFT book, and we have, and EFT again is emotional freedom technique, and it's tapping on the meridians. And I have a cute cat that's decided she wants to be in the video. Francesca's saying hello. Anyway, so the EFT is a very powerful technique for people and for animals. Animals respond to energy in an amazing way. So it really works for animals on behavioral and wellness issues. But the amazing piece about it is that when you do the EFT, the emotional freedom technique, tapping on the human for their feelings about the situation, stuff starts to shift in the household automatically. So it's a very, very, very powerful technique for people and animals. And so we also will have a lot of what's called animal education teleseminars. And that particular week, we have a call that we did in my big program called with Linda Tellington-Jones, and it is awesome, and it goes even into a little bit of quantum physics. So, and then there's lots, there's audios and videos of EFT tapping. So then in week 2, we're still in energy management, but the second chakra is, you know, it's about one-on-one relationships. And I say in this week, we're going to look at our one-on-one relationship with ourselves. We're going to really, really, really develop that. And then also look at the one-on-one relationships we have with our own animal companions. Because again, if we're going to be out there in the world as animal communicators and energy healers, we've got to be able to really walk our talk. And so what is the relationship like in your own household with your own animals? So I love to look at, it's a really deep look in the chakras. Also, we have more EFT in that week. We do some EFT on ourselves about any wounding we've had with animals, whether we've been hurt by an animal, or even, people don't even realize that if you get bucked off a horse sometimes, your feelings are hurt. So aside from any physical injuries, we're really going to go into any deep wounding we have from an animal situation. Also, I've got, that week we're going to already start looking at building scripts for EFT, emotional freedom technique. And then our animal education teleseminar of that week is with Marie Manucherry, and she's an awesome author and healer, and she has a book out with Sounds True also. So then week 3 is, we're going into self-esteem and self-care, more self-care. And the self-esteem, that we're going to look at that through the 3rd chakra for humans, for ourselves, and again also look at the self-esteem of our animal companions. And you know, you may be somebody that already has a lot of animal clients. You're going to start to see the theme of the animals around you. We are really going to look at the addiction to longing and any other emotional addictions we might have. And when we look at that, we're going to see how easy it is. Let's say, for example, somebody's horse is lame, and they have tried everything to fix the animal. Is there a chance they're addicted to the emotional world that they get for people, how people feel about them when they walk into work very disappointed again? Do they get a lot of support for their disappointment? So we're really going to look at what is an emotional addiction for ourselves and so that we can better serve our clients when it comes to helping them move through, you know, really painful things with their animals. And so we also, again, we have the chakra material for the animals, third chakra, and it's really interesting stuff. So then in week 4, our energy management is, again, the healer, heal thyself. This is, of course, the 4 is, week 4 would be the 4th chakra, and that would be all about the heart. So we're really going to get to the heart of the matter with emotional healing, and starting with what I call the Santa Claus syndrome, which is really one of the first points of disappointment for many people. Obviously not for animals, but if we want to really, really, really believe in healing and we have any wounding around disappointment, this is the week we really want to look at that. And it's also, we've got some amazing heartfelt animal education teleseminars in this week with other healers. And then in week 5, we move on to the invisible energy at work. And at this particular week, we're going to really start looking now at the energy system. We're going to be looking at what makes up neural pathways, what is muscle memory, what is cellular memory, what are the energetics of anatomy and physiology. This is a really fun week. And also, of course, we're continuing with the EFT. There's more EFT audios and videos. And I haven't mentioned, but I have a lot of case studies in here, so you'll have either videos or audios of animal communication sessions with EFT, so you can see how well it goes together. And if you haven't done my animal communication home study course, there will be a little opportunity in, I think, week 9 to learn more about animal communication, but I have a whole other home study course for animal communication. Anyway, so in week 5 also, obviously that chakra is the 5th chakra, and so we will really be looking into the expression and how animals express themselves, how we express ourselves. And so we've got lots of, we'll really be looking also at cellular memory in terms of, that's kind of looking ahead at how we do the scalar wave. And actually T-Touch is also, when we think about Linda Tellington-Jones, who was in the first week, you know, T-Touch is another thing with cellular memory. So this course is really building on itself so that we have understanding of ourselves and our animals around us. And then on week 6 is obviously the 6th chakra, and that week we're going to look at the 6th chakra in terms of the intuition for us and the intuition for our animals. And this is still in the theme of invisible energy at work, and we're going to really dive into traditional Chinese medicine, TCM. We're also going to really look at the meridians, and we're going to look at the emotional components of each of the organs. So when you think about what is the liver famous for? Well, the liver is famous for anger. So we would look at some of the layering we can do as healers when we're looking at an entire system. Again, this course is building on itself, so when we get to some really intense healing, we're going to be very well versed in the emotional life as well as the energetics of the physiology. So this week is really all about Chinese medicine, and of course we'll have some continued EFT. And I might add that EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, is based on the tapping on the meridians. So this will be a really, really powerful week of understanding what some of these points mean for us, for the animals, and how there might be just some simple tapping you can do with your animals just on one point, or continuing a phrase over and over again. So this is a powerful culmination of TCM and EFT. Okay, week 8. This is where, week 7, I'm sorry, I've lost my mind. Week 7 is, you know, in the chakra system, it's the divine, the connection to the divine. And so we're really going to look at the divine, one mind, swarm theory, morphic resonance, how it works in nature, and the contracts that animals and people make. And this is a powerful, powerful, powerful week, and fun and interesting and fascinating. And of course, we're going to look at the from the chakra perspective for the animals, what that would mean for the divine, and what it means for human, and what sort of what that would mean in terms of an animal's trust. And I actually want to go back to something I was talking about, When we look at animals that have had an experience where they've been injured or they've been scared, they are not in their body. They tend to leave their body. I say that they tend to be 2 legs and a head, and that hind end is gone. And so one of the reasons that all these chakra calls are so great is that throughout these calls, there are ways in which we understand that we can bring healing and awareness to the physical body. So when you get into these upper chakras, you're dealing in a more, well, in the people world, a more etheric level. And so for animals, what would that really mean? We go into that in this week. So it's a really, really great week. And then week 8, which is still invisible energy at work. And this is the what I call the pH of the household, the potential for harmony. And this is one of my favorite topics because we're looking at the 8th chakra, which is really the household. It's the energy field. It's the whole potential for your household to be more balanced and for you to be someone that can be a great harmonizer for other people, which is a really important thing. We have some calls from the Animal Education Teleseminars about clearing households, about setting up feng shui. We have all sorts of really great calls in that week. And also, of course, more EFT. And then when we get to week 9, we move on to the Healer's Toolkit. The next 4 weeks are the Healer's Toolkit. And at this point, we're going to really be looking at how to hold space for a client, how to be a standing wave versus a chaos pattern. When we look at naughty behavior and illness, what do they share? They share an element of chaos. So when we can learn how to be a standing wave in that chaos pattern or help someone become a standing wave, the chaos pattern has to fall away. Chaos can't exist with a standing wave of energy. So we're going to learn all about scalar wave. And the scalar wave technique that I've been teaching for, I guess, a really long time, 17 years, is, I have to tell you, I have seen, I don't want to make giant claims, but I have seen some real miracles. I've seen everything from gum disease be fixed. I've seen kidneys, worked on animals with kidney failure. I've seen the numbers on, I love getting blood work for an animal that I'm working on, having before and after blood work. I've seen blood works change. I have, somewhere in my office I've got that for handouts. I've seen heart rates change. I've really seen a lot. I've used the scalar wave for asthma. I've used it for, as I said, kidney disease, gum disease, for liver challenges, for cancer. Working on a cellular level, you want to be working on those cells. You want to be writing the cells. So it's the most powerful technique I've ever known, and I do it on myself every day. I have used it for naughty behavior. I know horse trainers that have done it right before they've gone into a horse show and won everything at the horse show. I've known people that have done it before they've gone on stage. I've known amazing, I've got a million stories of my own clients. I have stories in my first book and certainly stories in my new book about how powerful that is. One of the other things that we're going to learn about in this Healer's Toolkit is when to send energy. When are you going to use a technique that's actually sending energy into the system versus allowing the system to be? Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is they send energy into inflammation or cancer or things that need actually to have energy pulled out. So we're going to learn a little bit about sending and receiving energy and how to really work with that. We're also going to learn about my favorite, animal communication as a tool. And of course, I think of animal communication as a really important tool. So, because when you find out how an animal is feeling about something, you're able to really shift the emotional component as well as help them with the physical component, because it's all related. It's all a giant system. And then in week 10, it's more of the Healer's Toolkit, and we go even more in depth into the scalar wave. We're going to look at it with regard to behavioral challenges, and we'll also be doing some EFT. We're going to really break down behavioral challenges this particular week. And we're going to also use some, I've got in both of my books, 1,000,000 creative tools for working with behavioral challenges. So we'll really walk through some of that. And then we're going to learn another thing that is invaluable in animal communication and in healing, and that is scanning. How to scan from a medical intuition standpoint. And we'll also learn how to scan physically, but the medical intuition piece, I mean, if you're in Zimbabwe and the horse you're working on is in Tennessee, you'll need to know the medical intuition scanning. So it's a really great and powerful tool. And then in week 11, we're still in the Healer's Toolkit, and we're going to do more scalar wave, and this time we're going to really dig into the organs. How would you work on an organ specifically? How would you work on particular health challenges? We're also going to look at nutrition as energy medicine, and I have got piles and piles and piles of animal education teleseminar calls. I also have an ebook on Amazon called Wellness, Animal Wellness, and so you'll get that with the program. And so that's a very powerful week. I think they're all powerful, but anyway. And then in week 12, we're still in the Healer's Toolkit. That's our last week, although God knows I'll throw some bonus in and find a way for us all to get back on the phone again. And we're going to be really looking at how we would be doing remote healing, and in particular the scalar wave, how we're able to really do remote healing versus surrogate healing with the EFT. And we're really going to look at, there's a lot of calls that week on vibrational medicine. We're going to be looking at all the other things that you could have in your toolkit, or have the resources. Maybe you know a homeopathic vet, maybe you know, but we're going to learn tons of stuff about that. And again, you know, we're just going to be amazing, powerful healers, and we're going to be well equipped. Again, I don't want to make a claim of something I can't do, and I can promise you I can deliver 1 billion resources for your animal communication and energy healing future, and I really hope you'll join me. Thank you.